And actually, there's a version of Tmux as well that does that. Tmux, it's a fork of Tmux. Apparently, it's an older version of Tmux because apparently they fucked up something, and now you can't do that on Tmux anymore. So it's an older version. Here it is. By the way, you can find programs that support Sixel by using tags on GitHub, like the Sixel tags. Well, here it is. It's Tmux with Sixel support. And the guy has a rant here. I think. He has a rant here about how backwards developers refuse to implement this. I recommend reading it. Maybe I'll cover it later, along with the other stuff. Maybe I'll cover the VMs. By the way, the VM runs. It's QEMU. It's QEMU. You have to use that. But yeah, you'll have GNU screen. You have Tmux. Plenty of nice stuff. You can see Twitter posts here. I don't know why you would use Twitter, but whatever, you can. And you can do math stuff. You can display charts. You can display equations. You can use that. You can use LaTeX for that. Or you can use GNU plot to do some stuff as well. You can put stuff in NeoFetch. Actually, some file managers for the terminal support this. Like, I think VIFM might, I'm not sure. But NNN, that file manager, it has support for that. I know that. And you can use some tools, and some other tools are compatible with Sixel as well. And yeah, you can do it on Xterm if you have that, but you need the options. You can do OpenGL. Just a shitload of stuff. It's all really nice. I recommend playing around with this. And if you're a developer, you know what to do. Here's GNU plot. Here's GNU plot. Actually, GNU plot. Oh, not that. GNU plot history. There we go. It's GNU plot displaying a nice little chart in the terminal. But yeah, you can also do Plan 9 stuff. So you can run Acme, one of the Plan 9 editors, along with Sam. You can run that in the terminal emulator. Here it is. Anyway, this is W3M. You can use Sixel on that as well using this option right here. And for some reason, it's not in the man page. So it's a hidden option. And I found out about it kind of by accident. I was searching on the internet, I wanted to know, is there a way to use Sixel on W3M? And I looked it up and I found out that actual W3M has it. I don't even have to patch it. It's already there. So you do it like this. You do it like this. The system is not configured, it's just a test system, so key bindings are not perfect. Here, I know this page. Anyway, there you go, images. And you can see it flickers a little bit when you scroll, but when you're moving through the image like this, there's no flickering. And in W3M image, the thing that is normally used to display images, it has that problem. Like when you scroll, it flickers a lot, and sometimes the images disappear. It's not terribly consistent. Sixel is more consistent. It's actually better, I'd say. So I recommend it. Let's show it without the option, just because why not? I'm actually recording this in a very inconvenient position. The monitor is to the side. It's fucking awful. Oh yeah, here it is, the same page. For consistency, just it's not doing it now, but it does it sometimes. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit. I disconnected my keyboard, so the cursor is low now. But you've seen that. It flickered a little bit, now it's not doing it. But it's definitely worse than on Sixel. There you go, it disappeared. But yeah, Sixel is more consistent, that doesn't happen with it. But 4chan actually doesn't work very well with Sixel, because it just displays the first image in every thread, only the OP image. The rest of the images are invisible, they don't appear. While with WQM image, you can see all of them. So, advantages and disadvantages, I guess. It could be developed more. Maybe that's why it's not in the demand page, it's because it's not done, maybe. But yeah, it's pretty neat still. Check it out. A very minor issue with MLTerm that I have is I use all of these options, okay? Like I set an emoji font manually. I have Noto. I don't like the fact that they're from Google, but I haven't seen other fonts for emoji. I should find another one. But this computer is just to play with. But I have to set it here because the menus don't have a way to do that. And this is the input method that I use to type in Japanese. So I need this. I need to set this because the menus have options to set the input method, but they don't work. I don't know, I tried a bunch of different things, it just didn't fucking work. So I set it in an option. When I launch it, it's launched with this option. And I also set the colors to true. This is actually unnecessary, I think. Like, I didn't see the difference at all. So this is not necessary. But yeah, did you see there? It takes a moment for me to be able to type. This is the complaint that I have. This is annoying to me because I open a terminal and I immediately start typing. So it's very inconvenient. This though should be possible to solve with the daemon. I'm gonna set it up. I have been doing other things. So that should solve the problem, but it should not be a problem in the first place. It's just dumb. Some more things that I forgot to talk about. You can redirect the output of the conversion. You can do this. You can do this. There. And you can save. You can do that to save the Sixel file. You can have a Sixel image. Then you don't need to convert it anymore. And the advantage of doing that is that it's faster. So you don't have to output that. You just do this. And it comes out. And for thumbnails, it would be very good. So you don't have to convert every time, right? The thumbnail cache can be kept in Sixel images. So we can time that. Let's time this and look at how fast that is. It's really quick. If you do this though, then look, it's much slower. So that's a good thing to know as well, I think. Another thing that I forgot about is the Kitty terminal emulator. The Kitty doesn't use Sixel actually. Kitty can also display images, but it has its own way of doing it. And the quality may be a little bit better, but it's only on Kitty. And I'm not a fan of Kitty because it's too fucking big. It's huge, it's enormous. I just don't like that. I'd rather use something simpler and smaller, like MLTerm. Plus, the Kitty thing only works on that, like no other programs have that. You can use it on like a file manager that supports it. So it's fine, but it only works on one terminal emulator, and I'm not a fan of that. At least MLTerm works on Foot and on MLTerm, and it has been around for a long time. It's a very old standard, so I prefer that personally. Another thing, you can use NetSurf apparently. Apparently NetSurf supports Sixel, and you can use it in the terminal emulator. I haven't done it myself yet. You have to compile that. You have to compile NetSurf with that enabled, and this system has just a regular package that doesn't have that. And apparently you can run NetSurf in the TTY as well. And that's pretty nice because NetSurf, it actually supports JavaScript to some extent, so it's a pretty normal browser. And it's the Risk OS browser, by the way. So it could be really nice. And it can run the TTY, which is pretty neat. I guess it's kind of like Lynx with the G option that I mention all the time. Actually, let's show that too. Links G. 4chan again, because it's a good example. Yeah, look at this. Pretty nice, right? Sorry for jumping between different window managers so much. I was testing Notion there, but it didn't work for what I was gonna show you. Anyway, what if you want to convert the Sixel image to PNG? Like, image viewers seem to generally not support Sixel. I haven't seen one that does. But maybe you want to display it there. Maybe you want to display this GNU plot stuff in an image viewer. So to do that, you can just convert it. You can just do Sixel to PNG. You just do this, and then you redirect it. You can redirect that to a file, right? So let's do file.png. So you can open that. SXIV, just SXIV, file.png. There you go. Now it opens. Anyway, another cool trick, another cool thing that you can do, you can pipe it to FAT. I haven't seen any other image viewer that is capable of doing this, taking images from standard input. SXIV doesn't, but FAT does. You just need this option, you just need this, just an empty option, no letter after it, just like MPV and YouTube DL, and you can do this. There you go, you can just pipe the image directly to FAT. Anyway, with this, you can use the images, like if you need to output Sixel from a program, you can just convert it to display it in programs that don't support that. So, like if you want to generate GNU plot images for something, you can just convert it, you can display it in Emacs, you can do whatever the hell you want. And speaking of Emacs, Emacs doesn't support Sixel, unfortunately. But maybe one day it will. But Emacs, the graphical version, it supports regular images. You can put them in org mode documents. You have the EWW web browser that has images as well. It's kind of like the Links graphical option that I showed you. But yeah, pretty fucking neat, pretty cool. Mess around with this. I recommend it. That would be all about that for now. I'll probably talk about that more later on. I want to talk about certain programs in more detail, I guess, at some point. The W3M, actually, I forgot one thing about that. You can actually pipe HTML files to W3M. So, a lot of potential there. Like, you can generate an HTML file and then pipe that directly to W3M. You can make things with that. That's pretty interesting. Oh, and the reason why I switched to this is, apparently FE doesn't like certain tile window managers. Like, window managers that don't support floating windows very well. It doesn't like that. So it was showing the same image 4 times in both Stump WM and in Notion. Well, bye.